Hi, I'm Shifali, and I'm going to give you the inside scoop on how to apply to one of the best programs in one of the best universities in Germany. Germany is a dream destination for students wanting to pursue for masters, and getting into a college is really tough. But there are some things that you can do to make the steps easier. I'll cover everything you need to know before applying to the university. Mainly, how to choose a university, what are the courses that you should be aiming for, how much it's gonna cost you, the entire application procedure. In this video, I'm going to primarily talk about the steps that you need to do. Step 1 would be to establish a subject domain that you would want to pursue your master's in. After you have established that, you can go to the DAD website and look for the universities offering those courses. While you're at it, you should make an Excel sheet with the list of universities that you want to apply in, and you can make columns like mode of application, that is, you can apply either through application portal of the university or through the UniSS portal. And column 2 can be the application fee, as some colleges ask for the application fees. Step 2 would be to start preparing for the GRE exam, because as in some colleges, GRE is mandatory like RWTH Aachen, and in some colleges it gives you an edge. But according to my experience, I'd advise you not to give the GRE because it's really expensive and it takes a lot of time to give the exam, to prepare for the exam. And except for few colleges that asks for GRE, it's not required. And in colleges where it's mandatory, the cutoff is too high. Along with that, you would have to provide proof for language proficiency. For that, you can give exams like IELTS and TOEFL. According to my experience, I gave IELTS because it is more prevalent in Europe and I found it a little bit easier than TOEFL. In case you want to apply for German taught courses, you would have to show proof for German language proficiency. For the same, you can get certificates like Goethe certificate, DHS certificate, and test staff. As a step 3, you can ask your university professor for letter of recommendation, as it can be a little time consuming for them to curate one and to provide you the same. Mainly 2 recommenders are required, and if you are a working professional, you can ask your employer to provide a recommendation for you as well. While you're at it, make sure you ask your university for your transcripts, as they take a lot of time to courier it to your postal address. It happened with me, it can happen with you as well. And if you're someone who is in the middle of their semester, what you can do is you can ask your university to provide a proof that you're going to successfully complete your degree. The major part of your application would be to curate your SOP, or you can call it your motivation of letter, as it is a very extensive process and time consuming. For that, you have to tailor-made each of your SOP based on the university. You will have to go through the university portal, you have to know your course, you have to know the professors and their projects as well. You would also need a CV for the same. The CV should mention your education history, your job background, and a few of your projects that you were involved in. The CV has to be in the European format, and for the same, you can use the Europass website, which will be mentioned in the description below. As I said, you can mention your job background, but for the same, you will have to ask your company to provide you with a certificate of employment. That could be time consuming. Since November 2022, Indian students have to apply for APS certificate. It is a mandatory step during the enrollment process, but in some universities, it is mandatory during the application process as well. In my experience, I did not come across a lot of universities asking for it during the application process. But if you have the time, you might as well apply for it. These are the steps you would have to follow to get into a university. But it does not end there. It is the process that comes afterwards that makes this whole process worrisome. Keeping all these steps in mind, I would advise you to start this process ideally 1 year before, but 8 months would be the sweet spot in case you're giving the GRE, which is going to take 6 months of your time. That'll be it in this video. I've gone through the steps very briefly and will get in depth in my future videos. Are you ready to move from your current state and start a career towards a country of Goethe and Schiller? If so, I've got you covered. I'll be coming up with a lot more videos describing my experience and how I bagged 7 universities. Bye.